Maniacs, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be reacting to a video that's been recommended to me a lot, and it is from Dub Daddy or Josh Dub. It is What Happened at the Conjuring House. Now, I know a lot of people are tired of hearing about the Conjuring House, and I still refer to it as the Conjuring House and not really the old Arnold estate at this point because I feel like it's become more of a product than an actual historical location, which is unfortunate. I mean, they're basically, banking off the idea that this is the movie house, right? But that does not mean the property is still not haunted, and it does deserve a lot of respect. So we're going to go ahead and listen to this. This was recommended to me because a lot of people liked my Your Narrator and Eddie VR video. So we're going to hear Josh and see what he has to say. Josh is actually my personal favorite member of the Boys. I don't know what it is. It was just that he was the introduction for me into the Boys channel, and ever since I've been just kind of addicted to the channel. So we're going to go ahead and watch this, guys. I'll give you guys my thoughts during and after the video. I'll pause it when I want to talk, so if you're not a fan of that, I apologize, but it's probably going to happen. So here we go with Dub Daddy's video. Hope you guys enjoy. The more likes these videos get, the more often I will do reactions to videos like this. So if you like this kind of content, you got to make sure to hit that like button. Go down below, hit that big thumbs up. Easiest way to let me know that I should continue.
Ghosts. Spooky floating ectoplasms. Are they real? Is great-grandma Martha watching you spank the floppy sausage every night while she's watching over you? Are your ancient ancestors who died shivering cold in a blanket chock full of smallpox now watching you rack up a body count higher than Trisha Paytas in a Japanese harem anime? Maybe. But maybe not. I want to kind of talk about some of my experiences with the spooky dookie. As you probably know on the Boys channel, we've experienced a lot of stuff. We've gone to a lot of places. There's over 70 million views of us traveling around the world, going to haunted places. And I kind of want to talk a little bit off the record about what my beliefs and what my experiences are. I was a skeptic, but then I had some experiences that changed everything. And now shit is getting a little weird. It's rewind time. July 24th, 2021. Overnight in Most Haunted Jail. This was my first spooky dookie experience. I gathered with my favorite homies with extra chromies. We'd always wanted to get into exploring haunted locations, and the first video was a hit. As for the actual night, well, we just made jokes and ended up being banned from every haunted location in South Australia.
Hang on, let's see if there's any semen in the room. Found some.
Oh, wait. This is the video. I'm confident this is the same video where all the doors open or supposedly open. I'm not sure if this was actually real or not. I thought they were just having fun. But was it real? Maybe he'll specify.
Oopsie doopsie. Yeah. Our bad. That actually made things really difficult going forth. Like, we literally got banned from every fucking place in South Australia. Yeah, it turns out that they all talk to each other. And they were like,
yeah, we've got these people that come in and pretended to be paranormal investigators, and they're actually just a bunch of autistic, dick and cum fart joke boys.
So...
No joke, though. No joke. They do keep in contact. So when you go to these haunted locations and you want to just make a really cringy-ass, disrespectful video, just keep in mind that if you disrespect these places and the owners catch aware of it or catch wind that you're doing that, they could phone up the other places around them and let them know, we ain't gonna play this shit. I'm gonna let you know that there's a group of kids that are going by the name of, for example, it happened to Sam and Colby. Actually, it happened to Sam and Colby with the whole Blair House situation. They were supposed to go to another haunted location not far from the Blair House. Well, because they disrespected the owner was like, hey, I just want to let you guys know that there's a group of disrespectful kids. That was mainly the reason. They damaged the property, the bear, and now everybody around that area just did not want them going to their haunted location because that's, damaging property, which wasn't theirs. I mean, you wouldn't want someone like that in your house. That's why they kind of let people know, yeah, just keep in mind when these people come around, that's what they do. So warn them not to do it, or they'll just completely ban you from those areas. Yeah, so just keep that in mind next time if you guys are ever going to go out and start doing this stuff. And look, you shouldn't be at these locations anyway and being disrespectful. They were just a bunch of skeptics going to these locations, trying to film videos, and just having fun. And that kind of backfired on them, especially now that they're at the point where they're taking it kind of seriously. Now they can't even go to those locations because they were kind of not taking it seriously at first.
They all talked to one another and we got banned and we didn't know if we were ever going to be able to do it again. But May 14th, 2022, the infamous The Boys Go to the Clown Motel. Since we had been banned from every haunted location where I lived, we made the long trek out to Nevada to visit the gayest haunted motel of all time. Apart from having more bugs than a Bethesda game, it didn't really seem haunted by anything except for a couple bad one-star reviews on Google.
Just leave.
Yeah. I think that was one of them.
The video.
I'm confident I heard rumors that was Eddie underneath that. And the whole leg thing, getting hurt was an excuse to go away, or that was just somebody they knew dressed like a clown and run at them. I think that's what happened there. And I remember narrator said, "Dead ass, you come walking over to us, I'm gonna beat the living shit out of you." And the clown just starts running, and narrator books it too.
Put us on the map. This pulled 25 million views, which let us know that you want to see more haunted, spooky, poopy, dookie times. This video was pretty hectic, I'm not gonna lie. It had a lot of pressure building behind it. So many of you guys wanted to see this because of like skits that we'd done in our VR days in the same place, and like it just blew up. And we kind of left this video knowing like we're gonna do more of this shit. We gotta do more. But there was no real actual scary stuff that happened apart from just being in a fucking clown motel in the middle of the desert, which was scary itself. Next, we went to a haunted asylum in Australia. Basically,
no offense, to that video, the clown motel. I could definitely tell it was just a video to have fun. The idea that and look, I'm the same way. I know for a fact that clown motel is probably not even haunted. And if it is haunted, it's only because of the cemetery next door and the history that town has, that whole area. But the clown motel itself, I don't think it's haunted. I think it's just creepy. If you have a clown phobia, you're going to go in there automatically spooked, right? So that's an obvious thing. Like those clowns back there, I'm building up my creepy clown collection. I like clowns. I know a lot of people fucking hate them, and I understand. It's not like I'm oblivious to that. I get it. They're freaky effing sons of guns every once in a while. I won't lie. But it mostly goes from my childhood is the reason why I'm not as terrified as most people are of them, and I find them to be funny and cool, so... That's just me, though. I understand.
Like Eddie got scared. Mully tried to rizz up some female spirits. Still waiting for the twit longer on that one.
Dude. Oh, she fucking scared me, man.
That's pretty much all that happened there. Then we went to a haunted island. Not Epstein's, the other one. We almost died on the way there and I got chased by a bat.
Jesus.
Shit.
Probably the most dangerous one.
Wait, buddy. Wait. Whoa. Where is this located?
Longer on that one.
Dude. Oh, she fucking scared me, man.
That's pretty much all that happened there. Then we went to a haunted island.
I haven't seen that one. I have yet to see the island video. Hit that like button if you want to see the island reaction. I'll do it.
Not Epstein's, the other one. We almost died on the way there and I got chased by a bat.
Shit.
He went down,
man. The most dangerous one, since we didn't really think anything through, and we were a good 12 hours away from having any medical attention whatsoever, and we were literally on an abandoned island filled with Australian snakes and wildlife. And then we broke into an abandoned hotel in Japan, and then we crashed a haunted mansion with anything for views, and blah, 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 blah. And every time we uploaded a video, you guys were sending us screenshots of weird shit that we hadn't noticed in the background, which, by the way, is up. You think I want to see this shit? Let's recap on all the creepy bullshit that nobody needs in their inbox after spending 24 hours locked in a creepy cryptoid hellhole. Number 1, insane clown pussy. 2, 9-foot tall ghost of NBA draft pick. 3, jiggly black blob goo ghost. 4, Pete Davidson gets locked out of his house. 5, Pete Davidson hiding behind tree. 6, that's not even a ghost. That's anything for views, big wet butt. Number 7, ooh, spooky light. It's probably someone's dead grandma. Get over it. Number 8, naughty ghost in timeout. Number 9, hallway hard. Number 10, that's just juicy after guzzling some ghost cack. Some of this stuff is obviously stupid, but some of it is genuinely kind of creepy. I'm not gonna lie. We always get back from these video shoots.
Did they actually go back through the videos? Did you guys actually go back through the videos and see if those were actually in the actual spots? I mean, clearly he says he didn't want to see that stuff, so he probably hasn't. Looks like a couple of them might have been just edited, which if that's the case, that's kind of funny.
Did something follow us back? So yeah, we were having fun going from location to location. Weird things were happening here and there, but we did our best to ignore it. And look, when you're hanging out with your best pals and they all happen to be wacky hoo-hoo ha-ha internet comedians, it's honestly hard to get genuinely scared. Stuff was happening, but we never knew if it was the locals messing with us or the owners of the properties or just plain old sleep deprivation. I thought we were never going to capture anything on camera and we were doomed to be ghost incels. I don't know, whatever the word is for when ghosts don't want to you. And we were not being by any ghosts. And that's when your favorite little band of neurodivergent soy boys found themselves at the Conjuring house. Going from a place like the fucking clown motel to the motherfucking fucking house of the Conjuring. It was like going from a weekend staff party at Weenie Hut Jr. to hanging a Prada bag off your dick and hitting the gritty in the middle of Skid Row. In other words, we were now in deep doo-doo. Now, it's worth mentioning that the Conjuring house had the most strict filming policy out of all the places we'd been so far. They gave us a waiver this thick, and it said no seances, no bullying the dead, no faking ghost footage, and they wanted to review the video before we made it live. We didn't want to get banned from any more places because, you know, money. So we turned...
That is... Someone had mentioned that to me, that they actually want to see the footage you show before you post it. So no faking anything. But, like, what other reasons or purposes? Like, I guess maybe in case they didn't want you to fake anything. But then if that's the case, what was that whole footage of that one group of people I watched, right? The most obnoxious investigation ever. That was nothing but fakery and nothing but BS. They say you're not supposed to fake stuff, but yet they let groups of people like that into the Conjuring house who go in there and intentionally fake shit on camera. But if they're supposed to review the footage and they still allowed it, then what is the real purpose for wanting to review people's footage before they post it? Makes no sense. Because again, if you're against people faking stuff, but that group went in there and faked almost 99%, if not 100% of the stuff they did, then there's something off with that. I'm just going to be honest.
Top, we got a little tour from one of the people who, by the way, are staying in the house. Who the fuck stays in the goddamn Conjuring house as a job? There's like a little gift shop extension where this unhinged Conjuring house employee stays just to make sure that people don't like get naked and start porking each other, which was also on the waiver, by the way. Seriously. Now, I took one of the cameras because I want to capture something real. I want to control one of the viewpoints. I want to capture some real shit. It's all I want in life is for people to see me and be like, yo, homeboy seen a ghost, and then it. But seriously, that's why I am filming in a lot of these videos. I'm trying to actually capture some shit. I don't know where everyone's belief points are in the group. You know, I want to know if it's real. I want to capture something where I'm like, I don't give a shit if anyone else believes me, but I can't explain what I captured on this film here. And then I want to post it on the internet and make $1 million from it. So yeah, we always crack some jokes and we mess around a little bit because everyone who does this shit is so serious and we like to be silly, goofy little gaffy soy.
Goes to show though that, yeah, that's why people fake shit. Is because they know how much money it's going to make people. It's easy to fake, and people are interested in the paranormal, just genuinely. See, Josh Dub knows. He gets it.
Boys. And it kind of keeps shit fun. Okay, it's worth noting something here for later in the video. This house was as old as shit. A lot of people who watched this video and commented,
oh, they probably had something set up in the walls or the floor to make noises, or radio transmitters to f with your equipment. Yeah, soy milk.
This place was built by muscly jock pilgrim dudes, okay? The floor was just a bunch of 2x4s. There was no empty cavity to install any ghost babbling techno bullshit. The walls were stiffer than Kim Kardashian's cheeks. You could literally see the upper floor through the gaps in the timber on the roof. I'd never been in a house like it, and it was kind of cool, not gonna lie, on God, for real, for real. First thing, Mully grabbing the doll, not the real doll.
No, it wasn't.
Obviously, it's not the real doll. The real doll wasn't even at the house. It's in the Warren Spooky Museum thing 9 million miles away, locked in a glass cabinet. Under armed guard, probably. I don't fucking know. Now, the first
Wouldn't
room
surprise
that
me, though.
really got me, and I mean really got me, was the boarding room. Look, I know germs and shit weren't invented or whatever, but whose idea was it to crap out the most fragile miracle of life in a stinky, dusty attic filled with rusty nails? No wonder the average lifespan back then was like 15 years old. This room was more like an Egyptian torture chamber than a boarding room. The shit wasn't right from top to bottom. It gave me the heebie-jeebie-jubals. I felt like I was gonna get tetanus just from breathing the air in that godforsaken room. It was f***ed up. It just didn't feel right.
Boys overnight at a spooky room. The boys in a spooky burning room.
Oh, it smells like mold in here.
So the first thing they do is they lock me in. Thanks very much for that, guys. Appreciate you.
The perfect time to tell you where to get these cool threads. TheBoys.store, brand new.
And then took the opportunity to do a merch shout out while I was screaming in this small dark room, which was very musty, and it was obviously, it hasn't been cleaned. It was just this weird wooden box. At this point, they decide they're going to just pretend that they've left the room, which I knew they were going to do because Marley was out there and he thinks he's a genius prankster, but let's be honest, I knew it was coming. So I thought I would prank them back by by pretending I was actually dead. But as I was laying there on the floor, I could hear whispers inside the room. So before anyone else had any experiences, them locking me in this room, hearing whispers, hearing slight footsteps right next to me, I actually thought, I couldn't see anything because it was pitch black, but I thought that there was a hole somewhere in the wall that they could talk to me through because they sounded like they were right next to me.
Oh my God, Molly locked it when he went back to it. My God, Josh, I'm so sorry. Josh.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry.
How long have I been in here for?
I was gonna scare you. I was waiting behind the door for like 20 minutes.
And it was really dusty. I probably got permanent lung damage.
I actually felt something touching my leg a little bit, but I wasn't sure if it was like a snake or a f***ing spider or something. Get in.
Yeah, and that is also true. I felt something touch it a little bit. Like I was sitting there and I was just like, this can't be happening right now. Something's touching me a little bit, but I don't know if it was my imagination. But if something like no shit moves my arm or my leg, I'm out. It was getting a little weird in there. Nothing extreme.
These only last 3, usually. Like 3 and a half.
Mine is halfway.
Same, mine's halfway.
Yeah, so these batteries, we generally replace them constantly because you don't want to find out after something crazy's happened that there was no audio recorded. Around the time they should be empty, only mine and Mully's were full. It was odd for the batteries to be full. And as it turns out, only the people that had spent time in that creepy black mold wardrobe had full batteries. So was there some kind of time dilution happening in there? It was just really strange, you know, a lot of ghosts and spirits and theories that are based around electromagnetic disturbance. So I thought it was interesting that our electronics were being messed with in a particularly creepy area.
Yeah, yeah, I remember that, and yeah, I thought that was very strange too. I think, yeah, didn't they also like take all their phones up there, see if they would like charge their phones? I can't really explain that, honestly. That's what the fuck, right?
Of the house.
The people that went in the wardrobe got full batteries?
Is yours full, Joe?
Oh shit! Wait, what the f? Wait, what the f?
Wait. Oh!
And yeah, as soon as we started mentioning it, this little thing went off, which is a proximity-based sensor. I have to get across to you guys because I used to watch these sorts of videos, right? There's a healthy skepticism. Everything's being messed with. Use a remote button to make it go off. But I shit you not, all of this stuff, it's hard to make it set off. For the video, we want it to go off all the time because it looks good on the video, but it's hard to set these things off. You have to bump them, you know what I mean? So it was odd that when we were talking about certain things, the things start to go off. Very weird.
Test it out, test it out.
Look, not even that will do
I'm
it.
gonna go from soft to like hard, right?
And now he's testing it.
So you literally have to hit the dresser.
It didn't vibrate that much.
It's only from him punching the dresser. Like literally like that actually set it off. This is a big part of the video, was when we sat in the library, because the library we were told was a very high activity area, and this is really where the night starts getting weird, like really weird.
So basically the way it works is someone wears headphones and they say the words that they hear through the EMF reader.
But the idea is with this doing it this way is the person wearing the headphones can't hear you guys.
Now you guys know about the estus method. It's basically you use this little spirit box thing. Let me have a look. Let me just get the official like thing of how it works here.
Spirit box.
So the spirit box is basically, it's a radio. It is just a normal radio with a couple adjustments. It has a slight modification that enables it to rapidly scan multiple stations at once, non-stop. Basically, the theory is that ghosts and spirits tend to try to communicate through what we can pick up as radio frequencies. Now, these frequencies change depending on the spirit, or however they are in tune to the world around them. But the idea is that this thing just flips through frequencies constantly, and you might pick up a word
Picks up
or
words,
two of
yeah.
what they're saying. Yes, when you're listening to it, you can hear shit like Kid Laroi and Justin Bieber like come in for a second. It'd be like
Baby.
like shit like that. But that's not what you're listening to. The ghost didn't say baby. That's just, you have to wait for it to pass through the musical radio stations and wait till you actually hear something that shouldn't be there. It's really interesting.
Just any words that I hear that are clear.
Anything that you can like make out basically.
So I was
Yeah, Estes method has to be my favorite current method of the moment. Most of the time when it's used, we do get, most of the time when an Estes method is done, specifically again with that lighthouse video, we get some crazy moments. We get some really insanity. We get some things that are being said that match up perfectly with what everybody's asking or that's happening around them, right? So like in that lighthouse situation, for example, when Eddie gets like jump scared and it calls him chicken or like shit like that, that is like out of nowhere, is some of the most coolest moments, I think.
really interested
Personally.
here. This is what we're here for. This is the meat of the fucking video. It should be worth mentioning as well, for some reason, this strange little Viking man right here, he tends to get the best communication. I don't know, he's a very spiritual dude. He drinks a lot of tea. You take of that what you will, but he seems to be the best for getting the messages from the other side.
Has your family lived here long?
5:30
AM or P? Oh, what the?
What the?
Oh.
5:30.
Every time this thing goes off, it's called a pod sensor thing. It's weird
REM
because
pod.
they are really hard to set off. And when they do go off, they specifically change to a different tune depending on how close the thing is to the center. So it's literally a proximity sensor. Like it goes,
Yeah,
like
you literally have to be practically almost touching it to make it go off. Yeah, it's
that.
What will happen at 5:30?
What the was that?
Sorry, I just knocked it.
Holy man.
Next to me, I'm sorry.
I wasn't goofing there, okay? I genuinely didn't mean to do that.
Speak to us.
Hey, buddy.
What is your name?
Pizza.
Whoa, hold up.
That's weird because they ordered pizza. Emma and Adri ordered pizza.
Yeah, that was pretty funny, but it turns out there was something a little weird with the fact that he mentioned pizza.
Pizza, that's very strange.
That is weird.
That is really weird.
Should we check on the pizza? What if it just got here or it's about to get here?
It was odd because the last thing that we did right before we stepped into this room was order a pizza. That's a little bit of a coincidence.
Is the pizza almost here?
I'm gonna see if the pizza's here.
Wait.
Do you guys have your pizza? How far away is it?
You want to bring the guy in?
No, the spirit box said pizza.
Oh, yeah. So
Look at Adri's face. It's
As you can see, like with, you can see Adri is generally like, as soon as something happens where I can kind of like go and check on the legitimacy of something that we've just investigated, I'll do it immediately. In the lighthouse video, as soon as Juicy saw someone moving, I've basically ran out to where I knew other people were, made them swear to me that they didn't go past that area. If there's something I can check on, I will do it straight away. I have to know. I have to know if we're having a genuine experience.
It's 3 minutes away. The pizza
That's
is
pretty cool.
3 minutes.
I like that about that was one of the moments actually from the Lighthouse video I actually really dug was when Josh, or they all kind of made a point to go out and ask the crew who were still there if they had perhaps maybe went over and checked on him to make sure that nobody was caught in, camera view or anything like that.
In 3 minutes, our lives end.
That's so bizarre. Do you like the library?
Money.
There's money everywhere.
Money everywhere.
That's like the most common offering that people leave here. Ask them anything, how they died. Give us a sign.
Dead.
Whoa.
Are you f***ing serious? How the f*** did Josh just go ask him how they died and then he says dead?
That's what I'm talking about, is like direct responses or direct coincidences. It's not like we're editing out a lot of like sitting around and nothing's happening here. This is just naturally kind of how it goes.
Eddie.
What?
Bullshit.
Oh, I'm getting chills, man.
Turn the light. Oh!
I'm still mad at Molly about this because it's so hard to
That's
get
such a
everyone
dick
from
thing to
like
do.
messing around and being silly to actually being serious and getting to the meat of these things. It's so frustrating when someone f***s around and brings it back into not taking things seriously. And Molly had just thrown a book at Eddie because he thought it was funny because he's Molly. And we just started getting to things that are interesting.
Was that you, motherfucker?
No. I knew you were going to blame me for that. That wasn't me.
Why the f would you do that, man?
Why did that
You
page
can see I'm genuinely annoyed. I think everyone was genuinely annoyed.
It was just getting spooky.
Eddie was he told us later that he was having a genuine emotional reaction to this.
We're trying to do it seriously.
You have no idea how that felt, man. Shut the up for a second, dude.
So we had to cut out about 40 minutes of my...
Well, it's kind of cool. It's kind of neat to see that even Josh Dub and the boys can be annoyed by each other when they're not taking it seriously, like especially when they think that they're actually getting some sort of crazy contact. That's pretty fucking actually dope to know, man. I'm actually really happy to know that. It kind of makes me, again, I already take your paranormal stuff seriously. I already do. But that kind of makes me take it a little bit more seriously, knowing that's truly you actually felt annoyed when that happened. And I feel the same way in a lot of cases, where I'm watching a paranormal investigation and all of a sudden where I think it's getting really intense and really good, all of a sudden something will just happen that will completely just take you out of it. You're really like, damn, guys, if you really had just taken a moment to take that seriously, you would have had a effing phenomenal video. And yeah, I get it, yeah. It can be annoying, for sure.
like just laughing to himself.
Why did you mention Eddie?
And we're back into it now.
Love.
He's a fan.
I feel bad for Eddie here because he's having like a genuine reaction. Eddie still lists this as like one of the most profound experiences of his life.
I actually feel like crying, dude.
Emotional energy.
Yeah.
Right, pass it on to Eddie, I reckon.
So the interesting thing, I think, to me, is even though Eddie was clearly having an emotional connection, just because someone might be specifically trying to talk through someone or something like that, doesn't mean that they're going to have the best reaction on the Estes method. Like, they might have someone sit next to him saying, like, Eddie, blah, 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 talking to him the whole time, and then as soon as they put it on, nothing. So it seems like being a vessel for communication versus the person who actually is being talked to are two very different things.
Do you think it has something to do with being an empath? I know a lot of people like to mention that spirits normally like to talk to people, or they lean more towards people who could be, in a sense, an empath. So even knowing, let's say, I'm not a psychic or anything like that, but let's say, but that's where a lot of people like to kind of go to, is that, you know, you don't have to be a psychic medium or anything like that, but you could be more of an empath, and more people who have like an empath kind of sense will experience more things than most casual people. And I believe that I could be, in a sense, an empath. I'm a very emotional person. I know narrator can be a pretty emotional person. Eddie can be a very emotional person. I wonder if feeling emotions a lot easier than other people can actually be a sign of being an empath. I remember when I was watching a lot of these true crime stuff, and my feelings actually I started feeling intense because I put myself in the situation of a lot of people. Heartbreaking moments or just scary moments, I put myself in their shoes, and I'm like, well, how would I respond? And I start feeling that emotionally. And I think that could be why some spirits like to kind of go towards those people, because it's easier to kind of send their emotions to someone else. I think that's it's a theory, of course. I'm not saying that's 100%, but I had a feeling like, what if that's the case? What if that's why, you know, some people can feel more emotions than others? I remember when the house was actually haunted, my house right now. I remember when they mentioned doing the Native American seance on the property, and for a while I was okay with it until the day it was actually going to happen. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I got pissed off. And I won't forget how I felt. It was not me personally, and it was supposed to keep all the negative entities out of the house. They were going to put feathers above every window, every entranceway. There was no way for an evil entity or an entity with bad intentions to get back into the house. And I literally started telling my parents this was a stupid idea. And it's a dumb idea. It's a bad idea. It shouldn't happen. People are going to be making fun of us. They're going to see these people around our house and doing a Native American seance, and we're going to be made fun of. And I remember I was just coming up with all these different excuses on why this shouldn't happen. And I remember I walked out of the house. I got so pissed off. I just went up to the front door, opened it, walked out, and slammed the door and left the house. And then when the seance was done, I came back and I felt so much better. It was something I couldn't explain. I feel like something was actually inside me, or manifesting its anger about the Native American seance, and it was using me as a sort of conduit to kind of express it. And because I remember we had a psychic medium come into the house, and they said that there could have been there's actually a portal that was in my old room where I was sleeping 90% of the time. So we think that possibly I could have been being affected by whatever was coming through this portal.
My EMF just maxed.
Understand.
The EMF reader doing that is f***ing weird, man. I know I keep going on about the equipment, but like, this shit doesn't just go off by itself. So for it to start doing things, especially when shit starts getting strange, it spins me out every time.
Oh, your EMF is going f***ing crazy.
Turn the lights on.
Bullshit.
That's what it said.
We don't have to do that.
That's what it said. That's what it f***ing said. Turn the lights on.
You see Eddie is in genuine fear right now.
The moment Eddie said turn the lights on, I literally felt like someone was sitting on my shoulders, and this would not stop maxing, and it hadn't gone off the whole time.
I have had like the craziest goosebumps. Dude, I feel drained.
Yeah, this part.
That you know Eddie is scared because he didn't say chicken skin.
We've done like, I don't know, 10 haunted locations before this, and this was one where I was watching Eddie really closely when he was talking about how he felt. Like, even off camera when we were taking a break, this shook the living out of him, and it concerned me. It really did.
Wow.
Respectfully, I am very tired now, and I would appreciate it if we move on to the next person.
At this stage now, we've moved to the room directly above the room we were in, Henry's room. Every time people ask me about if I've had any real experiences, this is what I talk about. This is the section right here that really killed my skepticism and made me start to believe this is more than a coincidence. This shit right here, this is the shit that keeps me up at night.
Henry, are you here?
The light?
This was also one of the most intense Estes methods that we'd ever done. This one was crazy. He was just responding to us directly, and he's just saying random things in his head. Because again, it's pitch black, he can't see us or hear us. But it was like we were having a conversation with someone. Shit was crazy.
Do you want to turn the lights on?
Because of that?
Because of that? the lights?
Don't hurt me.
Oh, no, we won't hurt you, Henry.
We're not here to hurt you. We're friendly.
Yeah, if you want to mess with the light, you totally can.
Don't touch me.
We won't.
Straight away, you can see that like the responses we're getting are negative. It's like pain, hurt,
Did something happen to you in this room?
scared, someone's scared. Sitting in this room is really when everything kind of started taking a more darker turn, I guess you could say.
Did something happen to you? And he says in this room, and he says the end.
Especially when you're like working with kids.
Did you die in this room?
It's when things start getting creepy and everyone feels not right.
Give us a sign you're in the room with us.
Don't interrupt.
Oh, okay. Is there something you want to say?
I'm here.
It's a direct response.
Mully.
Yeah, that's our friend Molly right there. Is there something you wanted to say to him?
Molly talked.
Are you okay?
Miley's very skeptical of all this stuff. He can't like
Arm.
You can't
get rid
not
of it.
smile.
Oh, that's really weird. Okay, I never picked up on that before, but when we did the Estes method in the lighthouse, they specifically called out Mully and his arm again. And this has kind of been explained to us that some of these spirits are from like the 1800s, and tattoos were very different back then. They had a very different meaning. So they always seem to call out tattoos and sometimes with tattoos. Interesting, I never picked up on that before. That's actually the second or third time that Mully's been called out for his arms.
Do people take a lot of stuff from this room?
Not anymore. Well, that's strange.
Okay.
See, it was like direct responses. It was just weird. But this is the part that really spun me out.
Are you okay? Do you
Is it
feel okay?
okay?
Fright. Baseball.
You can see even Juicy's reaction here, that he's like, I'm sorry guys, but I have to say it because I heard it. It makes no sense.
Maybe we should turn on the lights and look for the baseball.
Yeah. Is there a baseball you want us to find, Jeff? We'll find it. In the attic. In the attic? All right, well, let's turn the lights on, take a break for a second, see if we can find a baseball.
They cut a lot of it out of the video, but Juicy says baseball a couple times. He's mentioning baseball, and then eventually we're just kind of like, okay, you keep saying baseball. Let's see if we can find the fucking baseball.
In the attic?
And then he says in the attic. So
And
it
they
was
find
he
baseball
mentioned it
blankets,
so
I
many
think.
times, and it was so random that we thought, you know what, let's try and find the baseball. We looked in the back room, right behind where Juicy was sitting, and just as we were about to walk out, we decided, okay, we'll look under these old pillowcases, and what do we find? The biggest fucking Red Sox piece of merchandise I've ever seen. It was like a giant quilt cover.
Of a fucking giant baseball merchandise.
Just in there.
It's like a duvet cover.
What the I know it may not seem like a lot, like no, a ghost didn't come out and like all over us or anything like that. But when someone is like blindfolded and they mention something and you find it directly next to them, it's just weird, man. Look at that shit.
Shot.
Yeah.
The baseball thing, it said baseball like 3 times back to back.
That part right there, what just happened, that was probably one of the most influential moments to me. That had the most impact. Is one of those unexplainable things that just matched up so perfectly. It's one of those parts where we're like, this is gold content right here, you know, because that's always on the back of your mind. But at the same time, you're like, holy what's going on here? How is this possible? You know, he could have sat there and said any sport or any ball. There's, you know, 1,000 different sports in the world, but he mentioned that one thing. And what was in that closet? 5 white pillows and the biggest piece of baseball merchandise I've ever seen in my life. Now, this is where I did the Estes method, and it's worth mentioning here that, like, when you do this, it takes something from you every time, I feel like. I don't know, it takes a lot of energy out of you, and you kind of lose track of time. It's like some weird trance. I know that sounds weird, but I'd recommend everyone try this because it's a really unique, strange experience.
9 people.
7, 8, 9.
When I said 9, turns out, because we had the extra production crew there that aren't usually there was actually 9 people in that room, which is fucking strange. I hadn't even made the connection that there was 9 people there.
Help. Yeah. Stop. That was very clear.
It turned from like having this conversation to just something saying stop, get out, stop. It's flicking through multiple stations, so it's like
Yeah.
7. But someone screamed in my ear. They screamed stop, and it went across multiple stations. It's like the radio thing stopped and someone actually yelled in my ear. It gave me chills, man. I couldn't get off my mind for the rest of the night, and Adri's clearly not taking it well. My interpretation was Henry was in the room and we were harassing him, and they always get people every weekend coming into the Conjuring house and f***ing with the kid, and this mother or what protector or whatever taking him under her wing in the afterlife was sick of it, and it was basically coming up and saying, stop talking to strangers, let us rest in peace. That was my interpretation of this woman who suddenly arrives on the other side and was like, get the f*** out. And you can see here when the lights come on and everyone's looking at me like
Bruh.
confused and upset.
That was very uncomfortable.
That was very uncomfortable.
Almost everything you said was a direct answer
Yeah.
to
Oh,
what
when
we
you're
were
wearing
saying.
this, you were totally deaf.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I'm assuming
You would have thought that you were just responding to us.
That's a very interesting theory right there, that some sort of mistress of the house, maybe she came into the room and was like, just stop. Please just leave him alone, right? You know, he didn't know who they were. Don't hurt me, things like that. Just letting them know that, hey, I'm scared. Please stop freaking him out. And that's when she came in. Stop. Leave him alone. Very interesting. I didn't know that's what it sounded like in the headset. Adds different context for whatever happened in that room, right? I mean, it's for sure.
Yeah.
Look, being like totally in darkness for like an hour and taking your fucking like blindfold off and seeing someone looking at you like this, it makes you kind of concerned. Now, the basement. Growing up, the Ring movie scared the living out of me, so I'm not a fan of wells, particularly when they're in houses, particularly when they're in basements, and quadruple particularly when it's just a fucking hole in the ground and there's no wall or fencing or anything. It's just a dark pit in the center of the fucking natural stone basement, like a portal to hell, dude. This was the first experience we've had where lights were flickering and we could hear things. This was very stressful for me. It's making me stressed just thinking about it.
Welcome.
Oh.
That's the first thing that came
Oh,
through.
yeah,
That's
the
what I love about
basement
getting
is
this
gonna
on
be a
camera,
great
'cause
moment.
You can see the genuine reactions of how that shit ain't right, brother.
Bullshit. Are you just saying that?
No, I'm serious.
I like this moment because this is the moment where Big Jokester Mully starts taking things a little seriously. And that's when you can know shit is getting real. When he starts being like, looking stressed out.
Is there anyone down here?
Clearly.
Maybe.
Maybe. Oh, they're just f***ing with us.
This Estus method was very, very like responsive. It was like we were having a conversation, even more so than the other rooms. And this one was almost all negative. Everything felt wrong in here. Every response.
Something is down here.
That's the hardest it's freaked out all night, probably.
I feel something on my shoulder.
You ready? I'm back.
Yeah, you can tell, you know, you could actually tell when they're taking it very seriously when a lot of them aren't even talking. When they're just sitting there kind of just accepting everything, accepting everything that's happening right in front of them. Those are moments that I take so seriously because it's like, okay, so I can feel the essence in the room right now. This is a very serious moment. They are not talking at all, squinting at the table. I mean, there's moments like that I really pay attention to because those are the moments that I'm like, okay, this is kind of getting freaky, isn't it? The lights flickered, yep.
Oh my god, dude. That shit is so fucked up. Oh my god. This wasn't like an fucking Philips Hue light, man. This was like a sort of bulb people smoke meth out of, and it just flickered as soon as he said I'm back, man. That is some movie trailer shit right there. Are you kidding me, man? It gets me every time, dude. I gotta watch it again.
Do you live
Gives
here?
me chills, man.
Or are you visiting?
And the shit starts going off, man. When one thing starts going off, they all start going off, and that is when you get like this rising panic in you when you're in these situations.
What's your name?
Lucky. Murder.
Were you murdered?
Oh yeah.
On this
Fuck.
property, you were murdered. Can you tell us what happened?
They catch me.
You see the temperature alarm going off here? My interpretation of that is something is in the room with us.
Do you have a family?
Dead.
Now, we'd been told a lot of things about like the history of the place, that there had been a war here and all this sort of stuff. So for Juicy to basically start having this conversation with this spirit where he's talking about this war and how his kids were killed and all this crazy shit, this is where I started to panic a little bit.
Raging.
Oh man, for him to say raging and the lights to flicker, it makes me want to stop this recording, get out of the room right now, honestly.
I feel it, honest to God.
Do you hear that?
The
On
scratching.
the ground right behind us, there was like, the floor wasn't floorboards, it wasn't like vinyl or anything like that. It was natural rock. It was like boulders, flat boulders that we were standing on. There was nothing underneath it, okay? The only thing that went underneath it to the right of us on the like other side of the room was a well. I shit you not, to the day I die, me and Eddie can just hear this. Like literally someone scratching on rock. Crazy experience because I was looking at the spot, you know what I mean? Like it was clearly from this spot. I was looking at it and I could see nothing, but when I put my ear up to it or when I got closer to it, it was right there. It was like literally something with...
What?
Okay, that was weird. All the lights went out. It was really weird timing just then. That was weird. Okay, I was looking at something invisible that
Jeez,
was making a scratching noise.
Yeah.
I heard that. Yeah.
Light just flickered again.
Lights start flickering, things start going off, we'll start hearing scratching. You know, when one thing starts happening, they all start happening, in my experience.
Crawling behind me and Josh.
I'm starting to feel uncomfortable.
Bro, I just...
Uncomfortable is a bit of a fucking understatement.
You heard that?
Oh,
right?
I didn't know they actually caught it on. I've never watched this.
Are you at the table with us,
You
Lucky?
can see me, I'm starting to like look concerned. I'm looking at the production team. I'm wondering when it's time to like get out.
You heard that?
Yeah,
right?
they did catch it. Oh man, I
Lucky,
don't know
is
how.
that you?
Did I miss
No,
that?
There might be like an animal or
Like
something. There.
everyone can hear it, and we're like, obviously, we don't jump to like, oh, there's a ghost there, because we are skeptics. You know, that's the interesting thing about this stuff. We're trying to find explanations, but everyone can hear it, and we end up like looking in that area and moving things around. There's nothing there while it was scratching.
There's like scratching going on.
I'm under.
And then he says this, what the fuck, man? We hear scratching from the floor, the solid rock floor, and he says, I'm under. Bruh, this shit was
Yeah, a little bit of a
unreal. There's the well
holy
right
shit
there, by
moment.
the way. They'd put like some barbecue camp grill shit over the top of it. It wasn't even like held in there. They were like, if you fall in, you'll probably die. A black hole. Fuck that.
I just don't like the fact that I'm hearing scratching from what sounds like underneath the rocks right now.
Yes, that's exactly what the
Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. The scratching here is starting to make me extremely uncomfortable.
sounds like, and I'm freaked the out
It
right
was a
now.
rap, but after him saying I'm under, it's just super not good combination.
We're just here to talk. Anything
Super
that
not
you
good combination.
wanted to say, you can say it.
And this is where things started getting really bad. Let me tell you something. Pretty safe to say that between us, we have, I don't know, 3,000 videos worth of like experience. We know how cameras work. We know what to expect. We know what sets things off and what doesn't. And this is the first time this had ever happened. Ever. I'd never, ever seen this shit before in my thousands of videos of experience. The footage corrupts.
Molly's still listening, and
I'll help
Right.
you out.
And that happens at so many paranormal locations. One of the things I'm always curious, like how does that happen? How does footage get corrupted like that? How do cameras just die out of nowhere? I can't explain it. And I am somebody who tries to debunk. I do my best, but I don't understand how all this stuff always happens. I don't know. If anybody can go into the comment section and explain to me what that is, let me know.
Activity in the
Can you help us
basement.
fix the camera?
Just stand still.
He doesn't know yet because he's still in the estus method. So he's still just saying whatever comes to him while we're all kind of panicking, being like, shit, did we just lose some of the best proof we've probably ever seen?
What's actually happening?
I swear to God, it just said youtube.com.
Take of that what you will. You know, I feel like I'm sitting here being like, seriously, for the past hour, but for us to lose all of our footage and it to go corrupt, and then Mully to be like, I swear it just said YouTube. And he even is like, I know this sounds bonkers and retarded, but I heard what I heard, sort of thing.
Take them off.
So I'm gonna cry.
What happened?
bruh.
The footage is wiped.
What?
This gives me chills. This right here gives me chills because this is one of those points where, yes, we're scared and
That's the most serious Molly has looked that entire night. The footage was wiped.
everything like that, but we're also working really hard. You know, it's expensive to go on these trips to fly 10 people out, you know, production crew and just us, you know, it can cost in the tens of thousands of dollars. So when
Yeah.
we're doing something like this and then all of a sudden the reality is we've got nothing to show for it, which was very much, you know, a possibility here, it is genuinely upsetting from a work perspective. And it means everything on the internet, and rightfully so, I think, so heavily like scrutinized that no one will believe us, I feel like. So this is kind of really upsetting as well.
Stand still.
No,
I'll fix it, and then I'll.
I don't acknowledge that too often. No, like on a business standpoint and on like this is something that, you know, you want to make an actual decent video for your audience and give them something, right, that would excite them. I get it, man. That's, again, yeah, it costs a lot of money to do this stuff. I mean, literally, it's like $1,200 to even stay the night there. Like, yeah, it would be a shame if that footage got wiped and they had nothing to bring back to their channel. There was no video. I get it. It would suck. It's a lot of money.
Footage wiped.
Well, what do we do?
And then you said youtube.com.
No way.
It's not a joke.
This is basically the worst case scenario when we're doing a shoot because it means that we have wasted our time. Kevin actually was really, really upset by this and panicked because he thought he'd done something wrong, which he hadn't done. He'd filmed plenty of videos here, so it was not his fault at all, but I've never seen him so upset. Like, he thought he'd the whole night up, basically. We managed to recover the footage, obviously, because you can see it. It wasn't easy to do. Like, we went upstairs for like an hour. We ran some data recovery programs. Everything needs to be saved and put somewhere and duplicated and backed up before we do anything extra. Here's something else really creepy that happened. Adri comes from like a, I don't know, religious family or whatever. Don't quote me on that if you're watching this, Adri. She was part of the production crew, so she's kind of like our babysitter. She makes sure that we have drinks and yada yada. Her mum was really stressed about her being there. She was really like, all night her mum was like sending her prayers and all these sorts of things and gave her like protected rosary beads and all this sort of stuff. And then eventually we're like, hey, why don't you jump in and see what this is all about? You know, you're sitting there stressed out in the corner all the whole time. Why don't you come and just try it? And you know what? Let's just record it for the hell of it. And she's sitting there.
I'm not getting anything.
She's not getting anything, right? And we've cut a lot of this down, but it was like half an hour of her like, nah, nothing's happening.
Lucky, talk to us through our friend Adri. She's wearing like
Maybe 6
protective necklace.
And that's when I realized it's these protective necklaces that she's wearing. Her mum gave them to her, and she was very specific about these protective things that her mum gave her to ward off evil spirits. So I was like, well, wouldn't it make sense that she's not, that they're protecting her? Like, let's throw them out of the room. And she was very skeptical. She did not want to do this, but I was like, look, let's just try it, see what happens.
Take your necklace off. Isn't it protective?
Yeah. And your wristband.
You're joking, right?
You're joking, right? She was serious about it. She didn't know when to take it off.
You right?
Now that all that's off, he's like, hello, my name's Lucky.
So juicy jokes about that. But what's about to happen?
Finally.
No.
That's fucked up, yeah. That was fucked up.
She is spun out. She takes them off. Literally 2 seconds later, it says finally in her ear.
Look at her face. She's not capping.
You're kidding.
Lucky.
Oh.
Lucky, welcome back.
I think she shit her pants when it said finally.
Now, we didn't get much conversation out of her, but she definitely started talking after this. But I feel like it wasn't anything that we hadn't kind of already heard before. She was clearly shaken by this experience. Listening to that fucking box when it starts blabbering, I'm telling you, man, you never forget that shit.
Go into the woods.
Oh, shit.
Wait.
And that is one of the things from the, and through them, I'm not too sure if I believe it, but with this, and from all the other times people have been there and it has mentioned the woods, I wouldn't be surprised at this point when if I ever do go here, would it say the same thing? It might. The woods. Go to the woods. It's very possible. I'm tired of fixing my hair. I apologize, everybody, but I have the worst hair ever.
Going to the woods?
Absolutely not.
Lucky told us to go out into the woods.
Absolutely not, here we go.
But we're gonna go out into the woods.
All right, well, look, we're not the smartest people in the world. The spirit that was telling us about pain and torture and everything like that told us to go to the woods. We thought, we'll go have a look at the woods. But we walked up to the woods and we had been told that there was very close adjoining properties and stuff. There was particularly like possibly some people staying around the area. And we didn't know what the actual boundaries of the Conjuring house were and where we were allowed to go. And the last thing we wanted to do was upset anyone that was nice enough to stay at their place, because obviously we'd been banned from places before. So we only really walked up to the edge. We didn't go right into the woods like Sam and Colby did, but we've definitely want to do that next time we go back, because we are going back. We're coming back for the Conjuring house and we are stepping everything up. I want to do the Estus method, naked circle of candles, man. I want to capture some shit, man. I want to see some stuff, because this experience shook me. It shook me, and I experienced things that I'd never experienced before. We made it to 6 a.m. We were cooked as after this. This was almost our last video we ever uploaded, because we almost died driving back because we didn't sleep here. We got straight in a van and drove for fucking 6 hours to go to a different hotel, which is a stupid idea. But that was the Conjuring video, and it was probably one of the most important experiences of my life, I would say. And everything's felt a little different afterwards. Now, if this video does well and you guys want to see it, I can talk about the lighthouse video. That was another
Yeah,
level
man, I'd love to
altogether.
see it.
I feel like we captured a ghost on camera, and I think it's definitely worth talking about. But yeah, sorry, this was something a bit different, but I just really wanted to talk about my particular experience and my feelings about this whole thing, because I feel like this is really the video and the experience that crossed things from kind of messing around and being silly and being like the boys to having a future in the paranormal and paranormal investigation. So yeah, thanks for watching. Let me know what you think, and go to theboys.store. We need to fund some more trips. Catch you later.
Okay, so yeah, that was pretty fascinating, man. I didn't really talk a whole lot throughout that video. I did more of like trying to fix my hair because my hair kept falling down over my eyes. Shows I need a haircut. But yeah, I didn't really talk too much during that reaction right there. But it was a very entertaining, very informative video. Again, hearing him say that he heard that stop, but it was like a woman was yelling stop at him. I didn't know that happened in the video. But these content creators, yes, like you got to give them more acknowledgement than just catching real evidence. I mean, these guys are spending a lot of money to go out there and do these videos for their audience. And you got to give them credit where credit's due. I mean, that's a lot of money going to a video. It really is. And and I love the fact that the guys are making enough money to do stuff like this, because I genuinely believe that the boys are some of the most entertaining people on the platform, hands down, bar none. I love Sam and Colby. I love Overnight. I love a lot of paranormal channels. But seeing the boys, a channel that I actually knew beforehand, before just watching random paranormal investigation channels, a channel I knew beforehand actually tackling the paranormal now, and something that I cover a lot is the paranormal. It's kind of a full circle kind of thing, because this was my comfort channel. When the pandemic happened, which was the beginning of my YouTube channel, was the pandemic, like a lot of these guys, I do reactions, and I was able to now bring my reactions to the boys to my channel, because paranormal is something they talk about now, and that's really, really neat to know. I hope they have a continued future in the paranormal. I really dig that Josh is actually taking it seriously. There's a side to him that actually wants to take it more seriously than joke around and be, like as he said, the boys, which the boys are, of course, comedians and funny. It seems like he has an actual, genuine, profound respect for taking something like this and being serious with it, which is pretty cool. Even he, not dissing Molly, but kind of like saying, yeah, Molly being Molly, not taking it seriously was kind of annoying, and all of us kind of got annoyed by it. Was kind of a pretty down-to-earth kind of relatable thing to say. Even knowing, Molly is like one of his best friends of all time, he's still being honest about his opinion when it came to one of his best friends. And I'm sure even Molly's aware of that, though, that that's kind of his shtick. That's just him being him. Even he's aware that being annoying is part of the gist sometimes. But Josh was just, straight up saying that. I think in that moment we were all kind of annoyed, because we were all kind of starting to take it seriously. And when he threw that book and kind of broke everybody's concentration, it was just kind of more annoying than everything. I don't know. It just felt very cool to hear. Is that weird? Is that weird of me to say? I don't know. If you guys want to see more content like this, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Of course, go support the original video. I leave a link to those in the description all the time. You got to go click on it. You got to go love it. You got to go support it. Please do so. And yeah, I hope he does another one. I would love to see a Lighthouse video. So yeah, until then, take care.